Sometimes, the person you're trained to overlook is the only one who can save you. Volt System Technologies, a high-rise fortress of corporate tech in Charlotte, North Carolina, had just suffered a critical crash. 20 elite engineers, all handpicked from Ivy League universities, were locked in a glass-walled war room, helpless as the system blinked red. Millions of dollars hung in the balance. Panic rose like steam. And then walked in a girl with a food delivery bag over her shoulder and hope long buried beneath unpaid bills. Her name was Jada Coleman. And in under 2 minutes, everything changed. Jada never intended to be the smartest person in the room. That dream had been shelved years ago, back when her world turned upside down. She had once been a top computer science student at North Carolina A&T, passionate about neural networks and algorithmic ethics. Her favorite class was taught by Professor Eli Weatherford, who once told her, "Jada, you don't just code. You speak to machines like they're alive." But in her third year, tragedy struck. Her 14-year-old brother Caleb was in a car accident that left him partially paralyzed. Their mother, already working 2 jobs, couldn't afford the surgeries. Jada dropped out overnight. She didn't tell anyone. She just left. She took a job delivering food to help pay for his therapy. And every night, after cleaning houses and delivering dinners, she studied code on a laptop held together with duct tape. She still dreamed. She just didn't talk about it anymore. Volt Systems' meltdown was no ordinary glitch. It was a full-scale infrastructure failure. APIs were crashing. Firewalls were looping. Clients couldn't access their data. Panic was everywhere. When Jada entered with Thomas Greer's grilled chicken wrap, the tension hit her like a wall. "Delivery for Mr. Greer," she said quietly, eyes scanning the wall of flashing code behind him. And then she saw it. A recursive loop in the transaction buffer. A classic buffer overflow error. "You're trying to reboot without clearing the queue," she said out loud, almost involuntarily. "If you isolate node B and clear the cache, the system will reset in under 2 minutes." The room went silent. Thomas Greer, Volt Systems' silver-haired, egotistical CTO, turned slowly. "You the new senior developer?" he smirked.
No.
"Just the delivery girl." He chuckled. "Great. Silicon Valley wisdom in a paper hat. Why don't you stick to sandwiches, sweetheart?" Everyone laughed. Except one person. Maya Patel, a senior analyst in the back, lowered her glasses and looked closer at Jada. Her expression didn't change, but her curiosity stirred. Out of desperation, Brett, one of the younger engineers, ran Jada's fix after she left. And in 2 minutes, the entire system reset. Greer's face went pale. They didn't celebrate. They didn't announce it. They buried it. Jada's name was never mentioned again publicly. Privately, Greer made 3 phone calls. By morning, Jada's delivery accounts were suspended on all platforms. Inappropriate behavior with clients, the reports claimed. She read the notifications while standing at the bus stop, her phone battery at 3%. No warning. No appeal. That night, she sat across from Caleb in their small apartment. He was trying to teach himself to walk again, with parallel bars set up in the hallway. "You okay?" he asked, out of breath. "Yeah," she whispered. "Just tired." But her silence wasn't tired. It was rage collecting focus. What Greer didn't know was that Maya Patel had seen enough to be haunted. Maya had her own history with Thomas. Times she was talked over in meetings, times she was told she wasn't strategic enough to lead despite being the only one with working code. She found Jada's LinkedIn. Sent a message from a burner account. "You were right. They shut you down because you embarrassed him. I have evidence. Let's talk." Attached was an internal email. "This delivery girl created a disturbance. Please ensure she's permanently flagged across all platforms." Maya didn't just send proof. She sent a challenge. Jada opened her laptop, her battered companion with a flickering backlight, and began coding like her life depended on it. Because it did. She named the project MirrorCheck, an AI-powered vulnerability scanner that could audit systems, flag threats, and provide real-time risk reports. It wasn't flashy, but it worked better than anything she'd ever seen in the wild. She launched a website under a generic name, JC Tech Solutions. Free vulnerability scans for small businesses. No logos. No photos. Just a system that delivered instant results. In 3 weeks, she had clients. In 5, she had contracts. And in 6 weeks, Greer's phone began to ring again. Client after client was pulling out. Independent auditors found flaws. Your system's bleeding data. You said it was secure, someone else proved otherwise. All reports traced back to JC Tech. Thomas Greer was being outgunned by a ghost. In desperation, Greer hired a PR firm to discredit whoever was behind the audits. He ordered background checks, even tried to dig up Jada's college history. But the skeletons weren't hers. They were his. Old recordings surfaced, conversations where he mocked hiring diversity candidates as PR points. One clip even captured him joking about Maya's Indian heritage. At least she can do my taxes, right? Maya leaked everything to a trusted tech journalist. The headline exploded. Anonymous security firm Outsmarts Volt System, CTO's racist email surface. Twitter went wild. Volt System's board stepped in. We're bringing in a third-party auditor, they announced. And we've already hired someone. When Jada entered Volt Systems HQ, this time in a sharp blazer and crisp boots, Thomas Greer's mouth fell open. You? I'm the third party, she said calmly. You didn't recognize me without the sandwich bag? The room was packed. Journalists, lawyers, board members. Even Professor Weatherford, her old mentor, had flown in to witness her presentation. Slide after slide, she walked them through 22 critical failures. Real losses. Real consequences. No theatrics. Just facts and clarity. When she finished, there was only silence. Greer tried to speak, but the chairman raised a hand. You're done, Thomas. The next morning, Volt System filed for reorganization. Greer was escorted out. Maya was promoted. And Jada? She was offered a full acquisition deal. She accepted, but not for the money. For control. 1 year later, JC Tech Solutions had a sleek new office downtown, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a team of 35, half of them young talents no one else would hire. Caleb now walked without crutches and ran the company's youth coding initiative. Jada stood on stage at the National Tech Summit. Her speech was being live-streamed to over 10,000 viewers. She pointed to a photo on the screen, herself in a hoodie, holding a delivery bag. This was me. And if the system had worked the way it's supposed to, I'd still be carrying sandwiches. You want innovation? You want loyalty? Stop hiring resumes and start recognizing voices. She paused. The crowd was silent. Then Caleb walked up and handed her a plaque. Tech Innovator of the Year. Jada Coleman wasn't born into power. She wasn't given a desk, a seat at the table, or even a second glance. She built her own table. She rewrote the rules. And in doing so, she proved something we all need to remember. The system doesn't break when you let new voices in. It breaks when you shut them out. And sometimes, the only person who can fix it is the one carrying your lunch.